friends, so it's Black History Month here in these United States, so I thought I would be remiss if I didn't make at least one video to celebrate it. Which is funny because I always hated Black History Month growing up because there was this thing of where, and I went to this super white Catholic school, right? So the teacher would say, all right guys, we're gonna learn about all these people because today is the start of Black History Month. And like all the other kids in class, like low-key just like turn and stare at you. You guys, trust me, this was not my idea. But you know, you learn about Martin Luther King and Harriet Tubman and Rosa Parks, and like every boy in class does their Black History Month report on Jackie Robinson. And it's over and you're like, okay, there are 5 cool black people and they're all dead. That's why I've been loving the Black History You Didn't Learn in School hashtag, because there's so many stories of black heroes and black pioneers that just get buried by your Washingtons and Columbuses and whatever you learn in school these days. I want to talk about one of those people today, Vel Phillips. And just to show you how buried this is, a big, huge moment in her story takes place on the 16th Street Bridge in Milwaukee. And I lived for 4 years on 15th Street in a neighborhood where I could only live because of her work. And I never heard of her until like 2 weeks ago. Vel was a remarkable woman. She was the first black person and the first woman to serve on the Milwaukee City Council. In 1971, she became the first female judge in Milwaukee and the first black judge in all of Wisconsin. In 1971, she was the first woman and the first person of color to be elected Wisconsin's Secretary of State in 1978. And she was the first black member of the Democratic National Convention, where she kind of forced the party's hand to include civil rights and racial justice as an official part of John F. Kennedy's presidential platform. Holy shit. Vel, who was born Vel Rogers, was an accomplished lawyer, but she was also black and a woman, which are pretty considerable barriers to be elected to Common Council in 1956. When she ran, she canvassed the black neighborhoods with flyers with information and her photo on there. In the white neighborhoods, white volunteers canvassed and they had the same flyer with no picture, and her name was shortened to Vel, which is reasonably gender neutral. She even found out she was pregnant while she was running and didn't tell anybody until after she was elected, because she knew that if she could get people to stop being so hung up on her otherness, she had good enough ideas to win. And as soon as she was elected alderman, she got to work. Milwaukee was and is notoriously one of the most segregated cities in the US. And in her time, people of color could not buy houses in white neighborhoods, but we're talking like burn crosses on the lawn type hatred if you do. So Vel introduced an open housing ordinance in 1962 to remove those racial barriers to where you could live. Of course, the council unanimously rejected it, but she continued to bring it up 4 more times. And over here, the black community of Milwaukee was like, understandably 100% done being ignored. So they organized a march across the 16th Street Bridge into the exclusively white neighborhood of Bayview. Vel was not in the crowd on the first night, but she soon joined these marches, even though everybody advised her not to because it would look bad for her politically. But she had to do what she felt was right, so she continued with these nightly marches that went for 200 days. Now, if you watch footage of these marches, it looks just like footage out of Selma or out of Ferguson, like cops in riot gear, white spectators hurling racial slurs and rocks and like bodily fluids at the marchers. Protesters are getting clubbed and beaten and tear gassed. But there was Vel. She was brave. She didn't care if she was screamed at or attacked or arrested. And these marches, just like the ones in Selma and throughout the South, drew this national attention that eventually convinced LBJ to pass the Fair Housing Act. And Vel finally got what she fought so hard for, the legal reinforcement to start breaking down those segregated neighborhoods of Milwaukee. She continued to fight for civil rights for the rest of her political career and continues to do so today at 91 years old. What? She's such an inspiration to me, and I just wish that I learned about her sooner. So that's your dose of Black history you didn't learn in school for the day. If you want to learn more about Vel Phillips, Wisconsin Public Television just produced a documentary on her life. It's an hour long, you can watch it completely online, and I will link it below. If you like this video, please consider subscribing so that we can hang out and be friends. In the comments, tell me more examples about Black history you didn't learn in school that I should go read up on. Or if you don't have any, I really encourage you to check out the hashtag on Twitter and Tumblr. So many cool things. Never stop learning. My social media links are below, and that's all for me today, guys. Bye.